Hey everyone, tzitzits, fringes or tassels. See a lot of Torah pursuant people wearing them today, and others don't think we have to. So is it something we should be wearing today? Let's look into it. Shalom everybody, and welcome to Beit Tefillah. I've been asked some questions about tzitzit lately, and I've also seen some discussion on Facebook about this issue. Some Torah keepers wear them, some don't think we have to. Some think that was just for the priesthood or for the time of the children of Israel back then, and some who do wear them think they're for men only and that women shouldn't wear them, and yet some women think they should wear them. So what's the story with these tassels anyway? However, before somebody corrects me, I want to say that I know up front that the plural of tzitzit is tzitziot, and we're going to read that shortly here in the commandment. But because we speak English, and because, in English we put an S on the end of everything to pluralize it, and because tzitzit has been brought over into the English language, a lot of people say tzitzits. I do. So I'm just going to continue to say tzitzits through this video, but I do know the plural is tzitziot, okay? But for those who may be new to this, here's what they look like. Little fringes that we, tuck through there and pull them tight on our corners of our belt loops. For the men, the women do something similar, or they may wear an actual sewn into their hem or poke little holes on the bottom of their garment. And that's kind of hard to see. So here's a larger one for a visual aid. Okay? So anyway, tzitzit, fringes, tzitzit, okay? Well, we have two places in the Torah which give us this commandment, so let's read both of them real quick. First one is in Numbers 15:38. Speak to the children of Yisrael, and you shall say to them to make tzitziot on the corners of their garments throughout their generations, and to put a blue cord in the tzitzit of the corners. You can see we have a blue in there, okay? Now it doesn't say you have to do just white and blue. Some of that is tradition. You can make a lot of different colors. I know a lot of people who wear a lot of different colors, but you do have to give it a ribbon, a blue, or a tachelet, okay? That's the commandment. The next one is in Deuteronomy 22:12. Make tassels on the four corners of the garment with which you cover yourself. So we have two examples in the scripture, two to establish something, two witnesses, okay? So let's just realize that up front. But lately I've seen or heard some Torah keepers say, well, we don't have to do that today. That was just for back then. Where have I heard that statement before? Oh yeah, in churchianity. Let's not forget, it's a commandment. Yahuwah did not say, it might be a good idea to wear tzitzit, or if you're a forgetful person, then maybe y'all should fix some of them up and wear them there so you don't forget my commandments. It's a commandment, okay? It's not a suggestion. Some I've heard say, well, that was just a Levitical thing, or for the priesthood back in the day. Well, let's talk about that for a second. The scriptures are very clear for what was specifically for the priesthood, and here's a few examples of Elohim giving commands to Moshe for them. First one is Exodus 27:21. In the tent of meeting outside the veil, which is before the witness, Aharon and his sons are to tend it from evening until morning before Yahuwah. The second one, Exodus 29:15. And take one ram, and Aharon and his sons shall lay their hands on the head of the ram. Then we have Exodus 30, verse 30. And you shall anoint Aharon and his sons and set them apart to serve as priests to me. There's a lot of commands in Scripture that are just for the priesthood or for Aharon and his sons. I just picked three of them just for this video. All right. Now let's read the command in Numbers again for the tzitzits. Numbers 15:38. Speak to the children of Yisrael, and you shall say to them to make tzitziot on the corners of their garments throughout their generations, and to put a blue cord in the tzitzit of the corners. So was this commandment for Aharon and his sons, or for the children of Yisrael? That was pretty easy to hear, right? So that rules out that it was just for the priesthood type of thing. We all know the book of Deuteronomy is kind of a recap or a second witness to the Torah commands. And chapter 5 pretty much starts all the commandments over again, and it works pretty much down through midway through chapter 27, where they kind of stop, and then the end of Deuteronomy talks about Moshe bestowing the leadership upon Joshua, and then Moses dying, okay, up on the mount, okay? The tzitzit commandment is given right alongside a bunch of other commandments in chapter 22. Deuteronomy 22:9. Do not sow your vineyard with different kinds of seed, lest the yield of seed which you have sown and the fruit of your vineyard be defiled. 22:10. Do not plow with an ox and a donkey together. 22:11. Do not put on a garment of different kinds of wool and linen together. Deuteronomy 22:12. Make tassels on the four corners of the garment with which you cover yourself. Then it keeps going with a list of commandments for another 4.5 chapters. My point being, this wasn't just a special thing in there, it was within the whole list of everything we're supposed to be doing. Now, I know there's some people who are uncomfortable wearing their tzitzits in public. And so they try to find a reason to wiggle out of this commandment and try to find a way to say, hey, I don't have to do that for one reason or one reason for the other. I don't know if they forget that it's a commandment and it's not a suggestion. But I can picture them standing before Elohim in judgment and Elohim saying something like, so you didn't think you needed them, did you? Well, the state told you you needed license plates as a sign on your vehicles, so you always had those on your vehicles, correct? And you needed to have a fishing license to show as a sign in case you were ever stopped by the game warden that you were legal. So I'm sure you got one of those, didn't you? And you had a wedding ring on your hand to show that you were married to your spouse as a sign. But you just didn't happen to think that my tzitzit commandment was necessary. Is that the case? The tzitzits are there to help us remember the commandments of our Creator. They're there to protect us. They're to help us remember. I've heard a couple people say, well, I remember the Torah, therefore I don't need the tzitzits because I'm not going to forget it. Well, aren't you special? So by your logic, it's up to us personally to decide which commandments to keep or not. Is that right? That's a slippery slope to start going down that road, okay? I've heard others say, it's not in the original covenant. Maybe, but it was given not long after that, and it was given way before this time, and it's still in the Torah, it's in the book of Deuteronomy, and it's a commandment of Elohim. Where's the fear of Elohim with some of these people? That's what I want to know. That doesn't make any sense. I don't think I've ever heard anyone make the following comparison before, but let me read something to you, and I'm sure you'll see where I'm going with this. After the flood, and Noah came out of the ark, Elohim said, in Genesis 9:12-16, this is the sign of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for all generations to come. I shall set my rainbow in the cloud, and it shall be for a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. And it shall be, when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the rainbow shall be seen in the cloud, and I shall remember my covenant which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh, and never again let the waters become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the rainbow shall be in the cloud, and I shall see it to remember the everlasting covenant between Elohim and every living creature of all flesh that is on the earth. Now let's read the tzitzit commandment in Numbers chapter 15 again, and this time we'll read the following verse that follows it. Starting with Numbers 15:38, then we'll read 39. Speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them to make tzitzit in the corners of their garments throughout their generations, and to put a blue cord in the tzitzit of the corners. And it shall be to you for a tzitzit, and you shall see it, and remember all the commands of Yahuwah, and shall do them. Now, do we really think that Elohim, Almighty Elohim, would forget his covenant? Or us being made in his image, did he set an example for us to follow? Notice the rainbow has colors, and it has blue in it as well. Do we really think Elohim needed to rest on the Sabbath day? Or did he make the Sabbath for man as a rest and a way to remember Elohim, to pay homage to him as our Creator, and also to keep it as an example of what he did, being made in his image, and as a sign that we are his people? Exodus 31:13. And you speak to the children of Israel, saying, my Sabbaths you are to guard by all means, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, to know that I, Yahuwah, am setting you apart. Did you catch that beginning? The funny thing is it reads exactly like the tzitzit commandment. And you speak to the children of Israel. That's the same delivery by Elohim as the tzitzit commandment is. That should wake people up. That's a big clue, I think. So let me ask, is Yahuwah's Torah not an everlasting Torah, not an everlasting covenant? We have other signs of it as well. Genesis 17:13. He who is born in your house and he who is bought with your silver has to be circumcised. So my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. 1 Chronicles 16:15-17. Remember his covenant forever, the word he commanded for 1,000 generations, which he made with Abraham, his oath to Yitzhak, and he commanded it and established it to Jacob for a law, to Yisrael as an everlasting covenant. There's quite a few things that are a sign of the covenant. Now Elohim said that he set the rainbow upon the earth as a sign for him to look upon and remember, just as our tzitzits are a sign for us to look upon and remember. He remembers his covenant with the earth with the rainbow. We remember our covenant with Elohim by the tzitzits. Why was Noah and his family spared? Because they were righteous in Elohim's eyes, correct? Because Noah was perfect. He was tamim. He was upright in all his generations. And what's the definition of righteousness again? Deuteronomy 6:25, and it is righteousness for us when we guard to do all this command before Yahuwah our Elohim as he has commanded us. So Noah and his family were spared because they kept the Torah. Do you remember why the command for tzitzits was given to us in the first place? Just before the first command to make and wear tzitzits, this is recorded. Numbers 15:32-34. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. And those who found him gathering sticks brought him to Moshe and to Aharon and all the congregation. They put him in under guard because it had not been declared what should be done to him. Yahuwah said to Moshe, the man shall certainly be put to death. All the congregation stoning him with stones outside the camp. Wow. That made a big impression on all the people because they all got to see personally and firsthand the penalty for breaking the Shabbat. The very next verse is the command to wear the tzitzits, to make them and wear them. And here again is why we are to wear them. Numbers 15:39, and it shall be to you for a tzitzit, and you shall see it and shall remember all the commands of Yahuwah and shall do them, and not search after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you went whoring, so that you remember and shall do all my commands and be set apart unto your Elohim. The tzitzit are there for our protection. Forgetting the Torah causes death, just like that guy who was out there picking up sticks on the Sabbath. Now this guy may have truly forgot which day it was. The Torah doesn't say he was an evil, creepy, wicked dude out there picking up sticks. No, it just says he was out there picking them up on the Sabbath. Well, that's violating the Sabbath, and the penalty of which is death. The tzitzits are there for us to look upon and help us remember the Torah, just like Elohim said. It also identifies us as being part of the children of Yisrael. So the point of the whole matter is, if you consider yourself a child of Yisrael, you will wear them. Which brings me to my last point of this video, where some people say they're just for men and not for women. Really? Is the Torah just for men? Can I hand my wife the chainsaw and ever go whack away at Mr. Oak Tree in the backyard on Shabbat because we're getting a little bit chilly in the house? Is it okay for her to break the Sabbath as long as I keep it? Do I make sure to refrain from eating anything unclean while she eats a ham sandwich, chases it with blood while she's playing with her Ouija board? Well, that may be ridiculous, but it's just as ridiculous as saying some Torah commands, like the tzitzit, are just for men. It's not a masculine thing. Is there not a hem or the bottom to all garments? Of course there is. Was the commandment just the males among you shall wear tzitzit, or was the command to the children of Yisrael? Are the commandments of Yahuwah not for everybody? Of course they are. Now we know some of them were just for women, some were just for men, some were for farmers, some were for priests, and so on and so forth. But the command was not just for all the, where it says all the males among you must be circumcised. That's not going to work for the women, right? That's obvious, but still, the command did not go like that. Not say all the males among you must be wearing tzitzit or tzitziot on the corners of their garments. No. It said the children of Israel shall make them and wear them. Why? Because it isn't just men that are forgetful. Women are forgetful too. Okay, my memory is really bad. I mean, I would forget to put them on if I didn't leave them on my pants. I'm just being honest with you. But the point of the matter is, we all can forget. And they are there for us to look upon and remember and help keep us safe. It's for our own protection. Exodus 19:5, and now if you diligently obey my voice and shall guard my covenant, Then you shall be my treasured possession above all people, for all the earth is mine. That Hebrew word for guard in that verse is Strong's H8104, the Hebrew shamar. It's a primitive root properly to hedge about, as into guard with thorns. To protect, to attend to, beware, take heed, to keep, mark, observe, preserve, regard, reserve, or save. We are to keep Elohim's covenant and Torah, guard it as in hedging about and protecting it. When he says, keep my commandments, it's the shamar, to guard it. It's not keep it just like you would keep your car keys in your kitchen drawer. No, it's to keep it, to guard it and protect it, because it is our life. In the same manner, we're to hedge about ourselves with the tzitzit, or fringes, and let Elohim's Torah guard us. We guard his word, and Elohim will guard, or shamar, us. As already stated, they are a commandment and part of Elohim's Torah. We can't pick and choose what to keep, not if we consider ourselves to be Yisrael and the treasured people of Elohim. I also want to end this video with making one other point. We are commanded to give the blue thread, the tachelet, to our tzitzit. Some in Judaism, they wear all white tzitzit because they don't know what color blue to use. Well, I think that's a rather lame excuse. Imagine standing before Elohim in judgment, and he's seeing your tzitzits, and he said, you know what? That's not exactly the color blue I had in mind, but it's blue, so you obeyed. And those who are just wearing the white tzitzit, he'd say, where's your blue? You didn't do what I said. You didn't even try to do what I said. So that's why we wear blue, you know, and it's tradition to make a lot of these blue and white. Okay, I mean, it just says make fringes and add blue to it. So I've seen people with all different colors, and that's just fine. I don't really agree with some people putting little ornaments and little things on there too and making them look like little dangly Christmas trees. I wouldn't do that. But it just says make fringes and add a blue ribbon to it. That's the commandment. That's what we're supposed to do. So that's what we do personally. Okay? I wear them, my wife wears them, and it's a commandment. Well, I hope this video blessed you. Thanks to all who have subscribed to our YouTube channel. We're growing very quickly now. If you haven't subbed to our channel, please consider doing so. We don't ask for your money, we ask for your support by subscribing to us if you like the videos that we put out. Thanks to everyone who shares and likes and comments. We sure appreciate it, everybody. Keep it up. Shalom from all of us here at Beit Tefillah Productions. Everybody be blessed and have a wonderful day.